Welcome back, everybody, to the Law and Crime Network. I'll be your host for this afternoon, Rachel Stockman. Very excited to be with you, and I have Julie Rendelman by my side, one of our favorite guests and hosts, to analyze what we're about to watch. But first, I want to tell you the Amber Guyger sentencing phase that we've been watching all morning. It's on a 10 to 15 minute break, so we expect court to resume any minute now, and when we do, we'll take you live there as soon as it happens. In the meantime, we want to review what's happened in the Amber Guyger case. Of course, she was convicted of murder yesterday. We watched that emotional verdict come down and the reaction from the victim's family attorneys. Earlier this morning, Botham Jean's best friend testified. Let's take a listen to Alex Stossel. I want to bring in Julie Rendelman. We're talking about the sentencing phase. She was one of the witnesses that testified. Why do we have witnesses like this during this phase?
Well, you know, it's funny. In New York, we do it a little differently. In New York, we have a sentencing phase, but the sentencing phase basically allows an individual family member, victim's family, to come in and make a statement to the court, not a statement to the jury. It's not done in this fashion where someone literally takes the stand and basically explains, you know, their relationship with the victim. I guess in this situation, you know, the jury's trying to make a determination as to what the appropriate sentence would be. I have some issues with how this sentencing is run versus the way it's run in New York. I think New York seems a bit more just. That's my opinion. But I guess in Texas, they believe that the victim's family, friends have a right to be heard prior to a sentencing being imposed.
And the state has rested, so we're going to hear the defense's case in the sentencing phase. What do you anticipate? Specifically, they will be allowed to argue, quote, sudden passion. What does that mean? Because isn't that really a diversion from where they were going the whole time with their original defense?
I mean, we always used to joke about it in the scheme of manslaughter when it came to trying case. It was really a kind of a nullification. It wasn't really a real thing. It was just basically cut her a break.
Right.
And I think that's really what they're trying to do, that she wasn't really in the mindset she would have been in a normal situation. And so it is similar to what we talk about crime of passion, where you act in a way that you wouldn't necessarily have acted at other times. And so I think they're really asking for the jury to cut her a break. I don't know that they're going to, though, at this point.
At this point, especially with how quickly, I think we were all surprised, just 5 hours. We thought deliberations could go on for days. Just 5 hours, and the jurors convicted Amber Guyger on that murder charge. It looks like we are back in court. Amber's mother is on the stand. Let's listen in. It looks like the defense is just changing witnesses. While they're doing that, I want to bring in legal analyst Julie Rendelman, criminal defense attorney, also former prosecutor. Let's talk about the testimony of both Karen and the sister that we just heard from. What does it add to the defense's case, if anything?
I think the mother added much more than the sister did.
Yes.
I think both of us started to talk about the fact that the sister was saying a line about how she got injured slightly and Amber came and brought her a change of clothes. I think the jury will actually be bothered by that, because one of the big issues that came out in this case is the fact that she left a man dying and didn't help him. And so
in this case, she went to help someone who had a small...
on the most meaningless thing. And
right.
So there is to me, that's the first thing I thought about when I heard her say that. The mother is a bit different. The mother brings out things about her as a child that should impact a sentencing, and also I think she was much more sympathetic than perhaps the sister was.
And certainly to find out that, you know, she was molested at 6, I wasn't aware of that fact. It's a very disturbing fact, and it can, of course, affect you for life when something like that happens to you.
It can. It's interesting. I'm curious why it didn't come out at the trial, because it might have been something relevant had they gone that path of her being perhaps extra sensitive when it comes to coming to a door where she doesn't know who's behind it.
Absolutely. Looks like we're going to take a very quick break, but when we continue, we'll continue live inside the Amber Guyger sentencing phase of her trial. Stay with us.